So, sir, could I have you introduce yourself briefly?
My name's Mike Fasbender.
And what do you do for a living, sir?
I invest in real estate, have rentals, and I also restore and sell cars.
Okay, very good. How long have you lived in Lewis and Clark County?
Almost my whole life. I grew up in Augusta. We moved there, I think I was in third grade when I started school there, graduated high school there, went to Bozeman to college, and then moved back here in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
And have you run for elective office before?
I did once before, ran for county commission 8 years ago.
Mr. Fasbender, why did you decide to run for this position?
Public service is a big deal, but also one of the factors that prompted me to get in was the zoning issue that the county's pushing.
And what do you see as your main qualifications for this job?
I would say my private sector business experience, the entrepreneurial aspect that I have. I bring decades of owning private business that will, I think it'll complement the skills that Commissioner Hunthausen and Commissioner McCormick have.
What do you see as the #1 issue currently facing Lewis and Clark County?
Obviously right now it's the COVID-19. I think that's the biggest issue we have. As far as county issues, there's, I think the ones that we've always faced, mental health, roads, and utilizing the limited tax resources that we have.
Are there any issues that you believe haven't received enough attention from county leaders?
Probably the growth issue. I think we've been too reactive for years in dealing with the growth. The growth is coming. For the same reason we love to live here, other people will move here too. And I think we just need to get a lot more proactive in how we plan for and direct and guide that growth.
What do you feel the county is currently doing well, and what do you feel needs to be improved?
I think the mental health aspect, I think the county has been doing a good job with that. There's a lot of private groups that help promote that. I mean, the suicide prevention, the mental health, a lot of that goes hand in hand with that is substance abuse, and getting the drug court, I think, was a great step in the right direction there. We still need to stay on top of it. It's always going to be an issue for us, and the drugs are a growing problem in our community, but I think the mental health issues we've dealt with pretty well. The roads fairly well, but that's a difficult one too, because Lewis and Clark County, we are almost the size of Rhode Island and Delaware combined, so that's a lot of area to cover and a lot of roads with limited population and limited tax base. So we've done well there, but we really need to do more there too.
A couple of specific issues. What is it that you want to see the county do to help and support as the community comes out of this COVID-19 situation?
Well, that's a big question. Our working poor, I think, have really been hit hard by this. I own rentals, and I've got about 40 units in Helena. In April, I had almost 15, I think, who did not pay rent because they could not. So we really need to focus on those people who live paycheck to paycheck and get them the help they need so they can stay solvent in these troubling times. I think as we're going forward too, we really need to focus on our elderly. They're the ones who are the most prone to this disease of dying from it. So we really need to protect them and be cautious going forward with them.
You talked a little bit about the zoning situation. The zoning proposal was something that you were interested in. What is your view of the current proposal as it stands now from the commission, and what if you are opposed to that, what would you like to see, if any, zoning take place?
I think the whole thing needs to be scrapped. The public hearings that we've had were virtually 100% against it. It mostly affects the larger landowners, which is our farmers and ranchers, and they don't want it. Basically, it's a taking from them. What I would like to see is, several years ago, we put together a working group, and it was Plan Helena, Smart Growth, the builders, the realtors, private individuals working on a carrot approach instead of a stick approach. We studied the area, recognized areas that would be easier to develop and would flow better, and we tried to create incentives to create growth in that area and make it connectable so that we could connect to city services, and just more of a create incentives to guide the growth where it makes more sense and to dissuade from further out and from the sprawl that comes from failing to plan.
So,
Sorry.
that's all right. What is the final message that you would like to leave Lewis and Clark County voters with?
I guess my main message, if I get elected, is going to be how can I help? I think that should be all the way from the top to the bottom. All of the county employees should be working for the taxpayers and doing the best we can to help them out. Again, I'll bring that private sector experience to the table with the other two commissioners, and I think we can really roll up our sleeves and move the county forward.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.